Hey guys, BJ the Brave back with some more Shadowverse for you. On the 26th of July, they officially launched the Shadowverse Best of One beta test tournament. This was an official tournament and it went through 8 rounds. And guys, we have a winner with a, best of one deck with a deck that is a little bit different in the meta. So I really wanted to bring you the deck list today and talk about it a little bit and actually show you the winning game from that. We'll break that down together and then we'll jump into a few games that I'm going to have a go at piloting it as well. So what was this deck? I'm calling it Stick Abyss. It is essentially a Control Abyss deck, but it is coming with a difference. So here is the deck, guys. Now, what is it that makes, I really like this deck, what is it that makes this deck different? I think the first thing is that you'll notice it's not running Vuela, the 3-drop rush unit, which everybody has been playing this season because it was a new card, it's pretty good value, it's a good tempo card. But what Little Miss Bonemancer does is instead it becomes kind of awkward in the early mid-game for your opponent because, you know, what do? Do they spend all their removal tools getting rid of it? It's a real nightmare. There's like 3 bodies they've got to get rid of, right? They've got to get rid of Miss Bonemancer. And then when they kill it, there's 2 skeletons, 2 1/1s that come out. So what this whole deck is designed around is kind of being really sticky. You'll notice it's got 2 undead soldiers. We're running the full Charon package, and obviously, therefore, lots of small units. We've got the Orthoros 2-drop. We've got the Ghastly Sorai to get all the tokens. And because we've got the tokens, we're also playing the triple Reaper's Deathlash for cheap removal. And even soul predation so that we can actually keep up in terms of value and hand size. So it's actually kind of like how I always wanted to play Control Abyss. So I'm kind of keen to see this. You'll notice there's no Odin, and again that's because it's got a very clear win condition, right? We are trying to stick in the mid game to the board. And then we can, our Cerebuses are just fire, right? Because they're making multiple units really big. We've obviously got the combo with a Shadow Crypt Memorial where we can get ghosts, or similarly we may have ghosts from the from this card that we can play in out of hand with the Cerebus and get those big combos. So it is a control. It's got the triple Medusa, triple Jinzetsu, triple Cerebus, and double Olivia as well. So really powerful, like top end, giving us flexibility, good removal that doesn't necessarily require Evo, Super Evos. Speaking of which, what you want to be doing is with the Little Miss Bonemancer, potentially Evoing it, because that really then puts the pressure on, because they can ignore a 1-2, but they can't really ignore a 3-4, so they kind of then have to deal with it, and it just causes them to use their resources ineffectively and their their removal tools. Another key though for obviously Evo is Charon. And in terms of Super Evos, you're really looking at, Cerberus is your main one, but also potentially an Olivia if it's correctly timed. The only alternative on the Evo is sometimes Philidou as well in the early game can be correct. So yeah, that's kind of what you're looking for. Otherwise, you've got stuff that can just deal with the board without needing to Evo, and that's what makes this pretty powerful. So with that said, guys, let's dive on into the final and watch. I'm calling them Alice that's their Twitter name. I'll put links to this in the description to the video, but let's watch Alice now in the final with this deck and see how it does. Okay, so here we go. This is Alice, is their Twitter handle. You can see that they are getting rid of the soul deprivation, however you say that, and also they get rid of Gravy as well, which is kind of interesting. So Gravy gets kicked. I think they're preferring that more proactive 5-drop and trying to build that sticky board. So let's take a look. So Ghostly getting the tokens in hand and dropping the skeleton immediately. Quite a nice answer from the Luminous. But this is pretty good because it brings the zombie online, right? On 3. So the zombie is almost like another, whatever the 3-drop was that they put in. These sticky 3-drops, right? And you can see here, looking at Valse right now, obviously, any other 2-3-drop, Valse would just remove. But because of the Because of the last chance, obviously another zombie comes in its place. And so it's just very, very good in these like trade wars with like sword, for example, and rune as well. Not just getting blown out by AoE and early removal. And so even though sword had answers, like standard curve answers here, like you can see the Abyss player is still standing there with a board after all that. And now it's Abyss turn and we've got the proactive. And now Chiron can come down. Chiron. And even though, you know, she hasn't played a 2-drop yet, can still get the benefit. Just 2 skeletons is good. It's good tempo. Doesn't even need to use an Evo. And this is what I love with this deck. It's just like sticks to the board. Really, really interesting. Okay, so makes use of one of the ghosts. Got 6 play points here. Down comes Ortherus. Draws more tokens. And the other ghost as well. Because obviously they just deal with those very efficiently. When they're 1 health. So is this going to be an Amelia play? Sure is. It's not great though. Just Evo's Amelia, yeah, just so they can both attack. No point barriering up here. It would be a bit of a waste of a super Evo. Okay, so back over to the Abyss player. Alice, what are you going to do? Seven play points. So are we looking at another 5-drop? This time the 2-drop author is online. This is a little bit better value. And actually Super Evo's here, and you'll notice this gives the crest. So now at the start of the turn, the Abyss player is going to also put a 3-drop body down on the board. So Amalia, returning the favour with a Super Evo, but again, the stickiness, right? There's always something left on the board from this. Which is great. It's really good for cards like Olivia, really good for cards like Cerberus. Speaking of which, is this Cerberus turn? Let's have a look. Still got an Evo online, so Philadu is actually very good, right? For only 2 energy, using that Evo, we can clear Amalia and one of the ward units, maintain the Philadu body, and drops both of the other zombies. So look at the stickiness of this, guys. I love how she fights really hard in this sort of like middle phase with sticky bodies, because what it does is it forces your opponent to use their removals, like where they normally maybe be waiting for the big stuff, you know, to use their removals on your big stuff. They've got to deal with this board. If they don't, you just go down the Olivia Super Evo route and start putting damage on. But yeah, really good. Just a horde of bodies. So now could use the 9-drop just to kill 4 units, and I can see the temptation to do it randomly and then put a load of face damage on, but actually she decides to do the safe thing and guarantee the 4. Does mean she loses out on obviously a little bit of face damage, but still, it's the less RNG option, right? Okay. Down comes Princess. I guess we're going to Samurai for free here to kill the 5/9. And that's Jinsetsu out of there. But again, very difficult to do that with these sticky units, right? It's kind of cool. I don't feel like Last Chance has been a massive feature in Shadowverse Worlds Beyond yet. And so I think that's one of the things that makes this deck really exciting, really quite different. And it's nice that even though the meta is settling, we're seeing, we're seeing a little bit more, bit more depth. Yeah, a little bit more depth to the deck building. So this is the deck, guys. So let's take a look at how I get on in a few matchups. Okay, so first up we've got Abyss. Okay, so okay. So we use a ghost to get Bowmancer down. I'm trying to remember to, really play for this rule of get the sticky units down. Sorry, just having a few issues in my mic. I do find the Undead Soldier sometimes difficult to place. I think that's one of the harder units to get down. It's great once you do, but finding the space to play it is not always easy. So a bit of heal from Olivia. And yeah, that's where Cerberus comes in and sort of gets this pretty cool value. I mean, we have to, in order to put the zombies to face, we have to kind of 50-50 on what we would draw back. We actually decide not to bother Super Evo in there because we've got another one in hand. So they use theirs on us. All right, let's take it for a spin against Forestcraft. I'm not sure about the Mino keep, to be honest, in this matchup. Especially because we did have the Orthrus. Speaking of which, double Orthrus go face. Kaboom. Okay, so we just play Amino down for tempo. Ugh, does leave us with a slightly awkward turn 4. Although, actually, we found the Mino. So, Bane coming in handy to finish off the Lily. And we're kind of into, you know, we're kind of into flow of our curve now. But obviously, you're on a timer against Roach. Titania. The Queen turns us into a fairy. Alright, so Charon comes down. That brings the Orthrus back. Always nice when you hit that Orthrus on 2. There's another thing about this deck, like, if you look at the shadows count in the bottom left, it's absolutely insane. Like, the amount of bodies that we end up playing means that we're never shy of needing what we need on the shadows front, really. And he does bounce a Roach, so we know he's got in hand. And we do it that way to try and maximize the heal, really. I suppose we could have actually healed for one more. But yeah. Take him out of range. He tried to chip us down, didn't he, with a pre-combo. So we managed to get that back. Alrighty, Dragon. Let's go. Job is a job, says Mino. Orca down for the trade. Ghastly. Drop a Skelly. And then the Rotting Zombie. A really nice play pattern is just Ghastly on 2, drop a skeleton, and then drop the zombie to follow, right? So now the Charon is set. Now I'm annoyed. Witness my Kung Fu. Quite a few different options here. We actually do go with the Gravy. We could have coined out Medusa, but I think that the problem with coining Medusa sometimes means that if you then draw an 8-drop, which you need the following turn, you kind of don't have it. So I think we're actually deciding to use a Super Evo on Charon here and start getting the 3-drop coming back. Which I think in this game is the Rotting Zombie, right? Okay, this is a bit of a blowout here. And Ashley gets the clock running as well with the Burnite crest. So here's the zombie from our crest. I do love that there's a bit more crest into play now. And here comes Cerberus. This time we are Super Evoing. I do find that with this deck, it is a little bit harder to guarantee like 2 burn cherubs or 2 defense ones, just because you tend to have tokens down that you're kind of buffing and getting value from. So you do have to 50-50 those a little bit more. Anyway, he was one off, guys. I mean, he was close, that one, to be honest. That Bernite turn was pretty huge. Probably wrong of us to just leave against Ramp Dragon. Probably wrong to leave something on the board like that. So much stuff on the board because we know that he's got these big AoEs. So anyway, okay, let's tackle Rune. So we keep Little Miss, Bowmancer, and Charon. We draw Jinjitsu, and importantly, Orthrus, the Hellhound Blader. So I think we're not going to coin out this turn. I think in this type of hand, like saving it for that turn 4, in case we need to draw out one of the 5s. Down comes Orthrus. Homework time to draw. Trades, and then this will be a pretty easy, straightforward Little Miss Bonemancer. Down she comes. So we have a couple of options here. We can Gravy or we could Philodoo. We decide to save the Evo point here. And it ends up being good because Barrier is a problem for the Gravy style of damage, whereas Philodoo can just kind of deal with this. Bowmancer down. Here comes Kuyon. Okay, doesn't use Super Evo. I think what we're looking at here is using Cerberus. Putting him down to 4 is important because now we can use the offense one that clears that. Again, though, we have to take the 50-50 because of board space. To be fair, we could have traded with the Ghost. It's another way of doing it, but we wanted to put damage on. Ouch. Down comes Charon. Yeah, I didn't love this turn, to be honest. So he takes draw 3 and heal 4. Stormy Blast clear. So we're on even. This stage of the game, that 1-drop is very good for the big removal. So we do Super Evo and we just go all in. Now, this was a really big mistake. This is a really massive mistake. We definitely should have not done the 1 damage and cleared that, knowing that Kuyon can do this. makes a huge noble Shikigami. So that was a big misplay by me. I think I was a little bit greedy. And we can't use Reaper's Death Slash either because of the aura, so we had to use that, so... We had to use Jinsetsu. Yeah. Okay, this looks like a gravy turn. Drop the Rotting Zombie. And drop Philadu. We have no Evo points down, so he's just a 2-2. And now we're into sort of like this real sort of grind, and it's kind of like who's going to find their, you know, who's going to find their answer first, right? We've got a bit of an awkward hand here as well. So I do just Deathlash the skeleton. I mean, it's not really what I want to be playing it on, but we're sort of having to like just try and stay in the game at this point. Obviously, don't feel free to timestamp any plays that you feel you would have done differently. Always enjoy learning in the comments from other people in the community. Spot really good lines of playing stuff. So yeah, definitely feel free to do that. Oh, any homework times as well. It's like we're like, oh, we don't want to see that here. Drawing into answers. Another homework time. And our hand's looking pretty desperate, but. Finally, we find something of value. And at this stage in the game, it really is of value, especially when we've got the ghost just sitting there waiting to go. Obviously, he doesn't have Evo points. Down comes Cocytus. Decline. Oh, boy. Stormy Blast. Oh, no. And another Flames of Chaos. Silent Rider puts us down to 7. We got the Medusa. Now, the thing is with Medusa is he's got to clear Medusa, right? If he plays this costs 6. So he's only got 4 left and he's got no Evos, so he's got no way of clearing it. So he's actually lost the game. Super close and super grindy. All right, so there you go, guys. A little bit of a, not a secret deck, but, you know, it's definitely different. And I was just starting to think that we were getting to that point in the meta where it was feeling a little bit stale. The meta feels kind of resolved. But it just goes to show that even though we're only in set 2, so we do have, like, not that many cards, it just goes to show that there are still ways of innovating. And there's still just changing a few core cards. Especially in this example, it's like fundamentally changed the way in which you play through, particularly the early and mid game. So if you like the idea of like a really sticky, more undead kind of just never die, relentless horde type of deck, then I think you'll enjoy this one. So hit that thumbs up, guys. Thanks for all of the support. Subscribe to the channel for more Shadowverse, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.